I want to talk to you a little now about the economics associated with fodder. Your cost of the seed, which this barley that I buy, I pay 14 cents for it. It's straight out of the field, so it hasn't been cleaned. So I clean it a little bit before I plant it. So that's your first cost. The cost of water, you're using a little bit of water, not much, but a little. You're using electricity for the lights and for the heating and cooling in your building. So those are the main inputs. If you're using hydrogen peroxide or chlorine, you've got to add a little in for that. But again, those are small amounts, but they all add up. And then the last item is labor. Most of these systems are fairly labor intensive. You get to where you're much faster at doing it, but it takes me about 15 minutes to harvest a tray, slice it up in little pieces for the cows. I cut it in like 4-inch cubes, and then reseeding. So for a system this size, or for harvesting 120 pounds, I spend about 15 minutes to do that. So that's what your economics work out to. Now, you know, if you've got kids that can do that, it doesn't take much technical help, or if you have an employee that is not busy all the time, or even if you want to, or thinking about adding another employee, depending on how big your operation is, you can add that in and get the cost to it. If you add all those costs in, add the cost of labor, and then all the other things associated with labor, you can probably, on a small scale system like this, you can produce fodder somewhere in the $160 to $180 a ton range. The relative feed value of this product is somewhere around 200. I've had lab tests from as high as 273 down to as low as 160. So it's a very nutritious product compared to alfalfa that you're probably paying $300 a ton for. Economically, it's a better investment for you. That does not include the cost of a building if you've got a place you can put one. Again, it has to do with the scale and the size of your operation. As we get to our bigger operations, you're going to want to change to an automated facility. There are automated facilities out there that are totally automated, require very little labor, maybe a little labor to go through and clean up occasionally to make sure everything's running okay. On those particular systems, the bigger you get, the more cost effective it becomes. Your cost of the fodder is spread out over more tons of it. You can easily produce fodder for less than $250 to $300 a ton in an automated system.